Hello, this is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the giant paper Easter lily with cardstock paper. Please like this video below and subscribe to my channel. You could also find the supplies listed below the video along with the template to cut this with your Cricut, Silhouette, or other cutting machines, and a hand cut version for those that don't have a cutting machine. I also have a regular size Easter lily that I'll link below and other giant paper flowers you could pair these with. For the giant paper Easter lily, there will be two sizes you could try with letter size paper. I'll be showing you both of them. For giant flowers, I like to just cut one through the cutting machine and then cut the rest by hand on a stack, which you could also do with the hand cut print version, or you could have them all cut on the machine as well. The first size will have one petal and one small piece that will be our backing for the petal, and the second size will have the top part of the petal and the bottom part of the petal with the backing piece as well. This will help extend the letter size paper and make the petals larger. You will need 6 petals total for each flower. So for the first size, it will need 6 sheets of paper. The second size will need 6 petals, but it will have 2 sheets per petal, which will make it a total of 12 sheets of paper for the bigger size. You could do any color paper you want, but I wanted to do a white cream traditional Easter lily, and we'll be coloring a little bit as well later to add some color, and thought these white ones will be perfect for Easter or spring. Starting with the first size, add white glue or hot glue on the backing piece and get a 20 gauge floral wire and sandwich the petal and the backing with the wire inside. Do this to a total of 6 petals. I like to use white glue so it has time to fix when gluing it down, but hot glue is a little bit faster, so whichever you want to choose. The bigger size is different. We start with the piece with the triangular top and sandwich the floral wire with the backing on the center, then flip it around so the wired piece is facing down, and add glue on the triangular part, and that's where the top portion of the petal will be added. You could directly cut a bigger petal to avoid this connected line onto bigger piece of paper, but once you color it and look from afar, you can't tell the little connected line. I used pan pastels to add a pink line down the middle, and then I use a blending brush and add yellow pan pastel on the bottom half and a little bit after the connected line. It should look gradient and blended. Then use any black markers and add dots around the bottom half where that yellow portion is. I do a rounded pattern with the dots around the yellow portion and start going down the bottom half of the petal. Next, I will show you the same thing for the smaller size petal where it is just one petal on a letter size paper. The coloring will be the same. Make a total of 6 petals per lily you want to make, and in this video I'll be making 2 lilies, one in the first size and the other one in that second size that'll be a little bit bigger. After having all the petals colored, use a leftover PVC pipe to help shape the petals. I curl the sides on the bottom yellow portion of the petal in on both left and right side of the petal. Then I go back on the top side and curl the petal back to where the yellow portion is. Do this to all the petals. Once you have all the petals ready, the next part is the center. You could use any color tissue paper and ball the tissue paper and glue that to a floral wire. And 6 of them should have the tissue paper ball bent on its side. And use crepe paper, stretch the crepe paper and use white glue every so often and cover up that tissue paper and then the rest of the floral wire. These wire pieces were about 9 inches and we need a total of 6 of these. Then use pan pastel brown and color the rounded tip. And my crepe paper was too green for me, so I used a lighter green pan pastel to color a little bit of that floral wire section. Then there should be 1 extra wire after the 6 of the brown ones that you just made. The extra one will have just a regular ball on top, and this is not bent over. It's just straight with a ball on top. And then cover it up the same way with crepe paper, and then this will be just light green overall. This piece is the center, and the ones with the brown ends will go around that center light green one. Then the next part will be the leaves. I did cut one on the machine and then used it as a stencil to cut the rest, and you could add 2 leaves per 12 by 12 cardstock paper, and each leaf also has a backing piece. You could also make these leaves bigger, where one leaf takes the whole 12 by 12 sheet of paper. If you want to mix and match some smaller leaves to larger leaves. Sandwich the floral wire in between the leaf and backing piece with white glue, and I made about 5 leaves per flower, but you could make more or less. I have a backdrop stand and stem kit that I will link below, or I will show you the DIY version to make the flowers stand on its own, or you could skip to the next chapter to finish the flower. This part will be for the base of the giant paper flower so it could stand on its own, and the stem. I like to use the Rapid Set Cement All, and I haven't really experimented with other types of concrete. This one has a light gray finish and smooths on its own. Comes in a smaller box if you want to only make a couple, or a bigger bag if you want to make a lot of stands. I'll be using plastic plant saucers that you can find in the plant section as our mold, and I'm using an 8-inch size, but there are bigger sizes if you want to add multiple flowers in one base. I use duct tape to guide my 3/4 coupler of my 3/4 inch PVC pipe. That will be my stem, so that it will come apart to transport in a car. If you are using a different size PVC pipe, get the matching coupler. Add duct tape on only one end of the coupler. These will be found at Home Depot, Lowe's, or on Amazon, and I'll try my best to link all of this below the video. Make sure you are being safe and wear gloves and a mask so you don't breathe in the fine dust, and safety goggles when working with this. I used about 6 scoops of these disposable plastic cups, but I like to work in small increments. If you do a lot at a time, it is harder to mix. You will also have to be quick so it doesn't set while you mix. Then add a little bit of water as you go and mix until you get a pancake consistency. Add more concrete if you need to thicken it. Fill up until you cover just the bottom and add your coupler. I have my coupler connected with a small PVC pipe just so I could hold it on the top. Then fill up a little more until right below the coupler ends. It should take a couple hours to fully set, so while we wait for that, we will now get the stems ready with PVC pipe. I got a pan, ladle, and funnel from a thrift store that I designated for this and not used for cooking. Then you can find playground sand outside, or actually buy a bag of sand. I like to have enough to fill up the pan so I could work on multiple at a time, but if you are only making one, you could just use a little more than your PVC pipe could hold. Heat it up until you feel the sand is too hot to touch. Then tape one end of the PVC pipe with duct tape, and the other side use a funnel and ladle to scoop your sand into the pipe. Then fill to the top and close it up with duct tape. And on the ground, you could shape your desired shape. This will look a little different from each flower, so shape accordingly. You could use heat gun or even a blow dryer, but I felt the heated sand gave me the most even heat without kinking the pipe. Then take the sand back out. Once you have the stand and stem ready, we will add the center floral wire directly onto the PVC pipe. I added the light green one first, and this should be a little taller than the rest of the center. I used masking tape and taped that around the pipe, and I redirect the stem so it is kind of going in the middle as possible. Then I used the remaining masking tape to tape the center with the brown top, and those should evenly go around the center light green piece. I also rebent the floral wire so it could naturally go around, and the brown top should bend nicely toward each petal when it's finished, so you can go back and rebend the center as you go. The first petal should go on, and it's with masking tape. I add the first 3 petals evenly around the center and taping them as I go, and then take the last 3 and go in between the first 3 petals. The next part is the bud, and it is optional, but I added 2 buds on my final look. You will notice it comes with 4 triangles on top, and that will be each section. So fold it like I did here And when you make these folds, there will be the circular tabs, and fold those as well. Have all the folds ready, and I go back and also fold down the center of each section. This is just to add some shape to the bud. Then add hot glue or white glue onto the tab and connect the triangular shapes. Do this to all 4 sections on the top side and on the bottom where the other circular tabs are. There should be one side where there are leftover rectangular pieces going down. That is where we will add the stem and connect. Close this bud by tucking it in the 4th section inside to close it. Then add glue with floral wire and add that into the closed section. Then add a few more floral wire, layering on top, adding with masking tape. I added about 2 on the top, 2 floral wire in the middle, and 2 on the bottom with thicker floral wire, and using masking tape to connect them and making this longer. Then take foil and thicken the floral wire. This will also help hold up all of this into a branch. Then cover the foil with masking tape, and using white glue and crepe paper, cover the masking tape area onto the whole branch. Then we will go back to the flower, and using white glue and crepe paper, cover the pipe and the masking tape area, and about 12 inches or so below, cut the crepe paper and glue it down. And this is where we will add the bud using masking tape. Tape it down so it is sturdy enough, and then go back to the crepe paper to cover that up. And then about few inches below that, we will start adding the leaves. That same way, we'll be adding masking tape and then covering that with crepe paper. You could add 2 leaves across from each other or one at a time, few inches below, and cover with crepe paper and repeat going down the stem. And at the end, continue fully covering the rest of the PVC pipe with the crepe paper. I will link the playlist of all of my giant flower tutorials below, and these giant Easter lilies look great on like this bundle, or pair them with other giant paper flowers. Make them in time for spring. Please like this video below and subscribe. Thank you for watching.